Good everyone, today's video, and today it's a review on the Starlin P-40, also known as the Starlin Hawk, and well, to some people you might have a different nickname, so let me know what you would call it in the comments below. And this one's a bit of a sad review because when I first got this aircraft, I was gonna give it a bloody good review because I got this thing back in late 2019, and I really love this thing. It's an incredible aircraft. The problem is it's been power creep to shit. And there's one nation you can blame for that. Sweden. Now, I know most people hate Sweden, and obviously I've been using Sweden to grind the Operation Summer event, which some of you may call me a dirty seal clubber, but to be fair, uh, I'm going to use it. I mean, Big Sven has been a bloody good use for that. And that's the thing, like, if I've got a aircraft that I can use for it, I might as well, because, well, it's a good play and it gets multiple tests done at the same time, and then I don't have to seal club for hours on end in different aircraft every so often. So, why is the Stalin P-40 well, I wouldn't say outdated, it can still compete, it's just a lot harder. Why do I think this aircraft is power creeped? Well, the short answer is J-21s and B-18s. The B-18s are much faster than you for the most part, and they also have 13.2 machine guns, which can mess you up extremely badly. However, they're less maneuverable than J-21s, so they're much easier for you to put down with your 6 heavy machine guns, which obviously are 650 caliber machine guns. And I personally have better success fighting B-18s than I do J-21s. The problem is with the J-21 is it climbs at about the same rate as you, it turns better than you, it dives equivalent until about 420 miles an hour, which is where you'll start to pull away, but to be fair, the guy will be spraying anyway, so you'll probably be dead before you even get to that speed. And with the P-40's damage model being debatable at best, this aircraft is really struggling against the J-21 spam. And considering that I flew this aircraft out during the event to grab this footage, it was extremely hard to actually get something done and actually get something useful. Now, this aircraft costs the same as the Russian Hurricane, which I obviously you'd have seen a review for that by now. Um, and to put it simply, if you're a tanker, this aircraft will do you extremely well. I've had a lot more fun with this thing in ground forces than I have in Air RB. Let's put it that way. And it pains me to admit that because I wanted this aircraft for so long. Because obviously I love P-40s. If you don't know me, I've always loved aircraft like this. Like the P-40 has been one of the most recognizable aircraft for me. Same with the P-51 Mustang, the Spitfire, the P-47 Thunderbolt, and the Messerschmitt Bf-109. Those aircraft are the ones that I wanted to fly in this game. That's why you don't see jets on my channel, fun fact. I came here for props, I didn't come here for flipping glorified washing machines. But that's just me. I came here for the props. I came here for the most recognizable warbirds. And the fact is that this is a 1941 aircraft, I believe, when the P-40E model was first introduced. Well, introduced. Sorry, my tongue's slipping a bit there. And it's got to fight a 1945 to 46 Sweden aircraft, which turns better than it, climbs about the same, has much harder hitting guns, can take much better damage than this thing can, and you get to fight 6 of them at once in some cases. No, I'd rather not do that. At least in ground forces, you're going to run into a lot less of those things. I mean, you might see an A-21, but it'll be strapped up with shit. And even then, you'll have the advantage because it'll be strapped up with shit. Now, obviously, the P-40 does have its advantages in ground forces, which I'm going to demonstrate very shortly. So obviously 650 caliber machine guns is a hard-hitting armament, and even for tankers, they might want to think twice about receiving these 50 cals, especially when they attack from above. It's when you get into the bomb loads. Now, the standard bomb load may not be impressive. I mean, two 100 kilogram bombs and a 250, which I will just demonstrate what that looks like now. Not too bad. I mean, the 100 kilo bombs drop as a pair, and obviously the 250 drops on its own. Not bad, but that's not why I use Stalin Hawk in ground forces. This is why. A single Fab 500 kilogram bomb. For those TU2S pilots, this bomb will be very familiar to you. And, well, I love the TU2Ss. And, well, having that bomb on a 2.7 Warhawk is nothing short of amazing because it will one-shot anything at its BR. And I mean anything is fair game for this. Now, obviously, with the aircraft being so capable as a whole, in ground forces, you're going to have a lot more fun there than you are in ARB. So if you're looking for something for more ARB related, I would recommend the P-39K, the Stalin Kane, or alternatively the Pokoshkin's P-39, which obviously is not on sale at the moment. It only comes around once a year. And those are solid choices. But if you want to go up in the BR, obviously the Pokoshkin's is here because obviously I own it. But if you're looking for something rank 3 that is available at the time, because obviously Pokoshkin's is not available at the moment, I would recommend the P-63 King Cobra or the B-25 Mitchell. These two aircraft are highly capable and will breeze you through this power detectory, and even up to the rank 4. But obviously, if you don't want to spend too much money on the game and you need some CAS and you're at this BR, you could team up the Stalin Hawk with easily something like an IL-2. And if you want to spend a bit more money, you could probably get the Chaika as well. The Chaika has been a lot of fun in ground forces. And obviously you could team up with an IL-2 1942 or something like that. But personally, I don't advise this aircraft to people who are ARB pilots. I just think this thing is a bit obsolete compared to its opposition. Now, I do make it work, but I had to wait for them to make the mistake, not me. Now, if the J21s were to go up to 4.0 like they should, this aircraft will still be competitive. But until that day, I would recommend only tankers buy this aircraft. And it pains me to say it. One last thing before we continue, as you'll notice, the machine guns actually have a strange ammunition layout. The inboard guns are 240 rounds, the middle guns are 291 rounds, and the outboard guns are 312. Very strange ammo reserve, but to be fair, if you get down to the middle guns, I would actually advise going back for a reload because it's not going to be long before you get to this area and then down to this, and having 250 cals is not exactly great for weight of shot. So if you get round to about, I'd say 800 rounds, I'd recommend heading back to base and getting yourself a rearm because you never know. It may just help you survive a conflict later on in the battle. But obviously, if you're a tanker, you might as well just use the guns all the way. So let's jump into the battle and let's show you what I did in Air RB, bear in mind. And, well, as you'll notice, the enemy team did a lot of the work for me. They didn't really climb all that much, but as you'll see, it wasn't worth it in the end. I did manage to get an ace out of it, but that's the thing. Like, it's not always going to work in Air RB, and this was pure luck. So before anyone jumps in the comments saying, I don't know, like, best case scenario, something like that? Technically, yes. This was technically best case scenario. And I don't know what happened with that sound bug then, if you heard that. But, like I say, the only way you're beating the J21 spam is with luck. That's it. You can't outturn them. I mean, you can give them a hard time to head on, but they can take your hits, you can't. And obviously, as you can tell on the enemy team, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I believe there's a 5th that's going to come into the balance in just a moment. 5 of those. Just bear that in mind. 5 of them. That's nearly a third of their team. So yeah, that, in fact, I believe it's actually over a third. Yes, it is. Just a bit over a third of their team is J21/A21. Now, one of them's carrying a bomb, but that doesn't really count because, well, he's still going to play fighter. But that's the thing. Like, this is the best case scenario for this aircraft, and you have to rely on luck. This is wrong. I shouldn't have to rely on luck in something that you should spend money on. I mean, I didn't actually pay money for this aircraft. I granted out GE for it. But as you're going to notice, no matter what you try, you're not going to beat the J21 spam. No matter how many of those buggies you drop, there always seems to be 2 more. It's like a Sherman. Like, you take out one Sherman, there's always 3 more. Like, that's just the way it is. But as you can tell, I'm trying to climb up, and as you'll notice, the aircraft's climb rate is not the greatest. It's about comparable to a J21, which is why I'm concerned about dealing with them. And obviously, with ground forces being a thing, you are going to have the situation where, well, you're going to have the situation where you might encounter one, but even then, there's no markers, and chances are you'll be able to get a drop on them. Now, as you can tell, that is a J21 in front of me, and obviously we're at the same altitude. I can't out-turn him, I can't out-climb him, so to speak, because we climb at the same rate. But this J21 does make a silly mistake. I don't know what he was doing, but he didn't go for the head-on. And as you can tell, the 650 cal guns do hit pretty well, but obviously I decided at this point he's got enough lead in him. Let's leave him alone, and eventually he's going to rip his wings off due to overspeed, and that's going to be my first kill. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Why the fuck is there a P-26 right there? That is a bot. So, I'm not going to count this match as an ace, although it does appear as an ace. I don't think this is fair to call it a kill. I'm going to call it half a kill. Because, well, it's a bot. It's not exactly putting up much of a fight. Kill 1.5. This is the first time I'm ever going to do that. Because, well, it's probably the last time, because I never see bots. Like, that bot was the first one I'd seen in a while. But as you can tell, I've now got a J21 below me and a J22 below me. Now, the J22, I'm not bothered about. That thing is basically a Wildcat, but less maneuverable. You can actually turn with that thing to some extent. But obviously, I don't advise turning with them. But as you can tell, the 650 cal guns really do hit hard on J22s, but it's just the J21s that seem to tank fire like it's going out of style. But even so, I mean, the P-18s could take a pounding, but they won't stand up to 650s forever. But obviously at this point, that's my, well, that's 2.5 kills, because, well, I'm not counting that bot kill as a full kill, as already mentioned. And at this point, I'm starting to panic. Because, well, there's a J21 underneath me and I can't see it. That's why I'm rolling the aircraft over, because I don't know where he's gone. But as you can tell, the enemy team is down to 3 J21s, or 2 J21s and an A21, and a P-39N. The problem is, this team is going to throw it away. We could have potentially won this battle, but this team just threw it away, as you're going to notice. And there is the second J21. As you'll notice, I've got good speed on me at the moment. I've got some altitude over these guys. But here comes an A21 just pulling straight up in the vertical. And he can do that. He probably could have hit me if he tried, but again, I'm relying on luck to get me this far. But I mean, if you manage to get the guns on target, they do work against the J21s. It just takes unusually long to put them down compared to, I don't know, a P-39. Because the J21s just have a BS damage model. And as you can tell, that MiG-3 over there above me is not doing anything. The 1 MiG above me, or the 1 MiG at the airfield has actually gone back to base because all he did was chase a bomber all game. At this point, I knew I was dead, and I thought, well, my mentality at the time was go for the ace, but obviously after thinking about it, killing a bot isn't exactly something to write home about, and I just thought, I'll take the head on with a P-39, shred him for my 4.5 kills, but at this point, the J21 spam catches up. I've dropped quite a few of them, but it doesn't matter, because, well, they turn better than you, and all it takes is one burst and you're gone. And that MiG right there just cost us the game by taking a head on with that J21. But obviously, I'm on fire, central fuel tank, which never goes out on a P-40. And that's me gone. 4.5 kills. Obviously, I know on the screen it says 5, but that's just how I'm doing it because a bot isn't exactly fair. It's a sad thing to say, but I just don't think this aircraft is worth it for an ARB pilot. But for a tanker, if you can get this thing on a discount, you're defo getting something out of your money, and that's for definite. This aircraft is really effective in ground forces. But until these J21s go up in BR, I can't recommend this to an ARB pilot. As much as it pains me to say it. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed today's review on the P-40. Like I say, sorry for a bit of a negative one. And, well, that's just the way it is sometimes. But I'm not going to tell people to spend their money on an aircraft that can work, but at the same time relies on luck. But anyway, I'll see you all on the next one.